Hello, duckies, and welcome back to Queen's Wish 2. My name's Viola. If you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. So, in between episodes, I did some training. We got a couple of levels. It was quite the struggle, but we're back here in Etza after setting up the skills. Okay. Nothing in here, at least for right now. Got you. Let's see. I can't do anything with this place, looks like. There's an old Dagon man behind the counter of the trading post. He nods grimly when you approach. The men sitting around the fire get very quiet, hoping to hear an interesting bit of conversation. The merchant says, I am Trader Haska. Supplies for travelers and merchants, buying and selling. You're the half-row visitor, right? What do you need? Hear any interesting gossip? Nope, none at all. I'd share news if I could. Very much doubt it. I'm the child of Consort Dark. The others in the room listen intently. Yes. I met him. Darmal. Astronaut. How did you meet my brother? He came to Etza on a few of his visits. He came here, you know. He remembered to look after his people. Bought supplies for the road in my shop. Is anyone traveling with him? No. I know he brought his whole family to the road long ago. One trip. Then he came alone after that. Then he died in Haven. Haven was just in its own way. What did you think of him? I liked him. Noble fellow. Good warrior. His eyebrows twitch. It's not the whole truth. Did you really like him? He clears his throat. Of course, Haven is noble and just, so of course it would welcome one of us into the palace. He looked after his people. Lots of admirers around here for Darmal. You need anything? Trade. I buy and sell to travelers and adventurers. Let me know what you need. I have heard good things about you, Haven. If you're interested, I also have some specials for valued customers. What do you have for sale? Let's see. Not as good as what I already have. For a Warhelm. Ooh, but it's got the addition of stun resist. That might be nice. No, it's too heavy. Swap for that. Oh, I don't have the money for that, but how's that great axe versus? Nope. Was worth a check. Let's just sell. Sell that. Don't think I have anything else I want to sell. No. What do you have for specials? Calling Kranus Warbow. Oh, tier 2. Not enough combat skill. Dark. That's all I need. Thanks for stopping by. He disappears into the shell skid behind him. Everybody's very evasive here. great inn. Anybody in here named Gan the Wanderer? The atmosphere in the inn is mostly quiet and tense. People huddle in tight groups, talk in low voices. This corner, however, is dominated by a tall, gaunt, boisterous man. He's a constant source of drinks and tales of adventure. When he sees you, he finishes his current tale and moves to join you. I know the look of another traveler, one who has faced danger in the unknown. Welcome, Haven. I'm Gan the Wanderer, explorer of the Rokaj. Where are you from, explorer? I was born in the High Litha. A good, strong boy of the Row. Can't stay up there, though. Not at all. Had to strike out into the world. What drove you out of the High Litha? My intolerance for boredom. The whole point of the High Litha is to never change. To be the measure of the Row judges itself by. To live in stasis. Stasis? They guard the deep truth of the Rokaj, and that can't ever be allowed to change. Not if you know what's good for you. So I left. Went out to look for adventure. And I found it, believe me. Where have you explored? Everywhere the road leads. The wilds around the Rokaj, the Kranis, and the Lodaga. I'm full of tales, as you can probably tell. Tell me about the wilds. The Rokaj is separated from its neighbors by hundreds of miles of wilderness, full of rich lands and savage beasts. We're slowly expanding into it. Better that land goes to fierce warriors and not the sniveling Ikemen or whatever. What did you find in the Kranis woods? Something nobody had ever seen before. A new grove. In a stand of trees, I found a tiny bud, size of your head, that would grow into a new walking tree. Told the druids about it, of course. They were most grateful. Swore me to secrecy about its location. What have you found in the Lodaga? A lost valley, not far east of Etse. Full of lava and blasted ground. Approached through a tiny pass. Would have seen more, but a drake was guarding the way. I will return one day. I'll listen to your tales. He tells you several stories. Mountains never seen by the eyes of man, narrow escapes from savage wars, treasures won and lost. Standard fare, a sliver of truth in a mountain of other stuff. Still, there's no denying that this man has gotten around. Where are you going to explore now? The last unexplored region of the Rokaj, the underworld. Full of darkness, perils, and treasures. I long to descend. There's only one thing I need to know. What do you need to learn? How to enter it. I've heard the rumors. There are 2 ways into the underworld, one in each half of the Lodaga. I need to find them. Yertz, you wander around, right? You're a hunter and explorer too, yes? If you can tell me where those 2 paths are, I'll give you some of the trinkets from my travels. Where should I look for these paths? Look for tunnels burrowed in the walls of the Lodaga. I believe in an eastern sort of direction. If the rumors are true, when you look out on the underworld, you'll have found the paths I seek. Why don't you just ask the Lodagans? Because it's a secret. There's wealth down there. The Dagons who found the paths hid them, so they can get the wealth for themselves. That's why I'm asking you. Ask the wrong person about these things and your throat gets slit. I've entered the underworld through the fire pits. Path through lava, guarded by a greedy drake. Eradiko ruins? Amazing. I'll need to make some sketches of it. Well done. That's the southern path discovered. Yep, southern path. I have no other news for you because I have yet to explore the northern portion of the Lodaga. Alrighty. Well, with that taken care of, let us... Shattered City... Is this my keep, maybe? Look. Not far ahead, you see the welcoming walls of Fortress of Haven. Your lands are pushed back in the corners of the Dagon Valley. You've claimed a large patch of rare, arable land, and you're carefully working every inch of it. This fort shows the signs of neglect you've come to expect, but the guards are armed and alert. There are lots of brigands in the region, hunting for easy prey. Okay. You enter Eskar Keep, the northern haven fort in the Lodaga. The row in this province can come here to trade, make petitions, and ask for judgment from the Rokaj. A few of them are walking about. The fort is in a state of great neglect. It is operating in the most minimal, cheapest level of capability. It's not unusual for a fort to be allowed to decay in a peaceful vassal. It's expensive to keep every fort ready for war. However, in the Rokaj, such relaxation seems unwise, especially with all the raiders. Oh, I just skipped the whole last bit. I apologize, guys. We're going to need more to upgrade the fort, but at least we have that. I don't know if I have the funds to be able to do much of anything as far as placing things. It's a very securable area, it seems. Easily fortified. The walls are built. I'll have to upgrade some stuff, obviously. Let's install, and we will place Smithy here. And back up here. Install, and we'll place weaving room here. I don't think I have enough to... No. Gonna need to get more gold. So let's go and talk to whoever's in charge here. You enter the main hall of Eskar Keep. Surprisingly, the soldiers here made sure that it is properly equipped. Everything is clean and in good repair. There are lots of supplies. In particular, there are lots of weaponry and armor, far more than you have seen in other ports of the row. They're all cleaned and oiled. Much of it is new, an expensive armory ready to outfit a considerable force. The soldiers salute you as they pass. They see that the commanders... They say that the commanders are in the northern offices. Yeah, I don't always want to go straight to the commanders, guys. Oh. But apparently I have somebody to talk to in the mirror. Mirror fills with purple mist. You hear hissing. Then someone clears her throat. Ah, I'm through. Finally. What, are you there? It's Delia. Havenite soldiers have returned to safety in the Lodaga. They said you were involved in our victory there. I contributed, but surely they were the real heroes. Well spoken. Very diplomatic. But their struggle is over and ours continues. What will be done now? The Lodaga has fallen into shambles while our attention was elsewhere. Its status shames our family. Governor Eto is gross incompetent and must be replaced. when we have a suitable candidate. Delia's voice is quiet and flat, and you can tell how upset she is by the situation. No replacement for the governor is available. Don't worry, a search is happening. There is some competition for the post. Several influential families want their useless children sent there. We have to find a competent prospect that brings maximum advantage to the queen. You sound angry. I am furious. It's one thing for there to be little wars in our vassals, their wild places, but for Havenite soldiers to be abandoned, killed? Governor Atos shamed us in the eyes of the world. I think Rasa Loet, the widow, would make a good governor. Delia laughs, then she realizes that you might be serious. When you give that much power to the to an outsider, there's a great risk. Vassals allowed total control over themselves become more likely to revolt. Not less. I'm sure Luida is spinning all sorts of pretty tales. Ignore them. Your job now is to calm the situation so that we don't look weak and the road don't revolt. How can I do that? Rise up above Governor Aito's idiocy. Lodogan's problem is this horde of raiders and invaders. Hunt them back to their lair. Find whoever is responsible and destroy them. This will solve all of our immediate problems. I'll do what I can. I'm sure you will. You have earned a lot of trust. Happy hunting. Oh, somebody else wants to... My ears clouded with pale mist. This signifies that someone in Sharon's palace wants to speak with you. However, when you approach, there's only silence. Hello? Long pause, then you hear the queen's voice. Your mother sounds normal, mostly, but there's a distant, distracted quality to it. Hello, Viola. I've been waiting for some time. It's good to hear your voice. It reminds me of your father. Greetings, Mother. I have reclaimed a fifth fort in the Rokaj. Did you? That is nice. Your father would have been proud to see you claim power in his homeland, far beyond what he imagined. Are you well? Of course, I am always well. Things are well. All is well. Now that you have seen much of the row, I want to tell you about your father. There's a long pause. You sit and wait, but she doesn't continue. You have spoken little about my father since his death. Years out. Mother? Your father, Consort Dharma. Oh, what an infuriating young man. She laughs, and for a moment she sounds much younger. I met him after I became queen. I dropped by the Rokaj for some diplomacy. He brought me a list of demands, the way the Rasa are challenging you now. It was so foolish, but the heart chooses who it wants, and our hearts can be so foolish. I knew I wanted him. I made it happen. So much arguing, shouting, handing out favors to Haven's petty nobles. And one day he was mine. Listen, he was my consort. I relied on him as I learned to rule. It was so difficult, mastering the nobles, controlling the vassals, all through 3 pregnancies. I couldn't have learned what I needed to without him. Now he's gone, and I am not without help, but I am not without help. I have Sutter, Delia, and you to face what is ahead. Was he happy in Haven? He was. I was so surprised. He missed his home, but he loved being the savage row in court. When he was insulted and ignored, his deep truth kept him untouchable. We could have had such a long, happy life together, but then... Mother? Your voice is soft, reassuring, controlling. A whispered conversation. The mist fades. The audience is concluded. Somebody else. When you approach the mirror, it starts to hiss. Again, the surface fills with random flashes of light. This is what happened the first time Wolf talked to you. This time, the hissing is gentler, and Wolf's voice becomes clear more quickly. Princess Viola, you have returned. It is Wolf. We can continue talking. Events are moving quickly, and I speak for the road. My brother has been asking about you. So your people have learned that we can talk through their mirrors. Thank you for this information. It is valuable. Our conversation was cut off last time. We're still working on mastering your mirrors. The last one shattered. We are getting better. Bro learned quickly. What do you want from me? Wolf's speech still comes out as an atonal hiss. You can't tell anything about who you might be talking to. It is not too late. The true challenge is still coming. War can be avoided. Justice can be done. I must ask you a question. You mentioned this challenge last time. Haven must be challenged. You claim to own us. You neglect us. It is unavoidable, but not here yet. I need to know who you are. You will know in time. Ask your question. Your father, Darmal, was born of the Rokaj. You are half robe. Our blood flows in your veins. You're part of us. Your governors neglect and abuse our people. Can you tolerate this? Doesn't your blood tell you to help us? I do feel connected to this land. Yes, feel that. That is the feeling that you are home. We will let you prove yourself. We won't treat you like a pet. We'll let you be a proud warrior. I must warn you, though. Warn me of what? Blood of the Rokaj flows in your vein, whether you feel it or not. If you abandon us, if you let us be enslaved and abused by Haven, then one day you will deeply regret your crime. I am also half Havenite, and you are my vassal. I am not your vassal, I'm a free row. You had better learn humility, or you hear a cracking noise. The mirror is intact, but the conversation is over. Yeah. Unlike the tidy hall outside the door, this office is full of dust and clutter. You have to choke back a sneeze. It doesn't look like the soldiers come back here very often. A hunched over man with gray hair sits at the desk, shuffling back and forth through a thick pile of papers. He looks up at you, slowly rises, and lets out a low cough. My princess, Escarkeep, is so honored to meet you. I am Chief Zerozo? I know why you're in the Lodaga, and all of our resources are at your disposal. I need your report about the current situation. Of course, our fort is stable, secure, and in good defensive position. There is still a raider presence in the Lodaga. It is a local disturbance of low importance. All is well. Tell me about this fort. Escarkeep is Haven's only outpost in the northern Lodaga, serving all of this region, including the city of Etze. It has been proved to be entirely adequate for our needs. Don't we have an outpost in Etze? This was deemed an unnecessary expense. Anyone with business with Haven can easily travel here. Actually, everything in this fort is run down. He lets out a little cough. This fort's budget and capabilities are entirely in line with what is required of it. Lodaga has the standard rogue chaos. There is no sign they can threaten Haven's presence. Really? They tried to kill me. Tell me about the raiders in the Lodaga. Normally, they would not be significant. I understand that Rasa Lewitt petitioned you to fight them. Such insolence. If you want to know where to hunt, the Master of Etze can help you. It's the status of the Rokaj as a whole. Please don't be disturbed by the attacks and other distractions. The Rokash is normal. For the Rokash, all is well. I've carefully followed Governor Ada's principle. I'm here to judge Governor Ada. Now he looks nervous. I'm aware of that. Of course, I completely support our governor. His principles have brought the Haven peace and a constant flow of tribute. I am considering replacing him. That is your right, but you will have a hard time replacing him. I'm too close to retirement. You will find a lack of ambitious, talented young Havenites here. Lodaga is not a prime destination for the ambitious. How can I help you? I need resources to rebuild our forts. Then it is good fortune for both and for us both that you're here. Much of our stone comes from a Haven claim, the stinking oasis. The women there work very hard to make properly dressed stone for us. However, recently they stopped sending stone, and I haven't had the soldiers to spare to send an expedition. Also, I must be careful. The oasis angers the Lodagans. Where is the oasis? It's not far to the southeast. If you explore in the direction, travel with care. There are more raiders than usual that way. That's why I avoided sending soldiers there. Why hasn't the oasis been sending stone? We have had no messages. However, it's not an unusual event. The work there have frequent disruptions. Some of the locals are very angry about the place. Why does the oasis anger the Dogons? It is a refuge. You see, the Lodogans tend to keep an unusual level of control over the women. Not all of the ladies here care for this. Thus, Haven declared the stinging oasis a refuge. All women can flee there for a time, and we protect them. In return, while they're there, they can put that admirable Dagon work skill at stonework at our disposal. That is how they pay their rent. Why is this refuge necessary? The low dogging can be a very hard place for a woman with a strong spirit. Some women here flee to other provinces to build new lives. Others want to remain in this land for their own reasons. They can hide in the oasis. Did you create this refuge? No, it predates Governor Ada's rule. The oasis is exactly the sort of provocation our wise governor tries to avoid. Wise. Need to know. I'd like to know more about you. I'm a full citizen of Haven, though I was born in the Archemin. I served the Empire from a young age and have had a long career. Now I will end my career and retire after a blemish-free time watching Viola Dagon. It's the next vassal over to the west, past about 100 miles. Starts wilderness. We generate less wealth for Haven than the Urkesh, but we also cause far fewer headaches. What qualities caused Governor Ato to select you? I'm patient. I have a strong reputation for passiveness. I'm always looking for an excuse to not act. You can almost see dust settling on him as he speaks. And this is a good quality? In the Rokash, yes. Anything we do can anger these touchy folks. It's always best to leave them alone as much as possible. That's why things are so peaceful now. You think the Rokash is peaceful? Well, I know there have been some assassinations, true, but you were never in real danger, and the villains are on their way to being punished. Standard business in the Rokash. Some will try to trick you into seeing rebellions and grand conspiracies around every corner. Don't let yourself be fooled. Yeah, fooled. You're the only fool here. There's a captain of Haven army waiting for you in the center of this office. The chamber itself is sparse. Most of the maps and equipment are in other rooms, except for the thick binder of maps on her desk. This is a quiet, calm room where she can meet and plan. She stands up straight and gives you a salute. You note that her robes are clean and pressed, with her captain's insignia on the shoulder. She says, "Welcome to Eskar Keep, Princess. I am Captain Azucena. I am honored by your visit and eager to tell you what we have been doing here." You have a lot of maps on your desk. She nods. The row has very complicated topography. Many maps are required for operation. You have probably guessed from what you saw in the entry hall. We've been doing a lot of work here. We need to act up here, away from the governor's gates. What can you tell me about this region? As you've seen, the Lodaga is full of raiders. Whatever you might have heard, this is no ordinary force. They are numerous and organized. Of course, if ordered, I could give opinions about Governor Ado. You're avoiding the governor's gaze. She decides to pretend that she misspoke. I'm sorry, I would never try to disobey my governor. I mean, I was trying to improve Haven's position without causing the governor difficulties or worry. A very high quality and productive lie. It is also easier to speak with the row up here. Farther upwards, they are more likely to be frank. You have contacts with the local row. I've been building a network, figuring out what clans properly value Haven and which ones foolishly want to expel us. If the seas get choppy, we will need lists of loyal. You may speak freely. Governor Ado is passive. In some battles this works. Here, the road respects decisiveness and courage. They will push us constantly. Sometimes we need to push back or they will think us weak, immovable. Alas, I think it's too late to correct our mistakes. We must be prepared for whatever the Rakaj is planning. I'm here to judge Governor Ado. All are aware of that. It may be time. However, to replace him, you need a superior candidate to replace him. Someone of higher status than me, competent, brave, and ambitious. Nobody like that has come here from Haven in a long, long time. Tell me about the raiders. You've seen yourself how numerous they are, how brave and determined. There are lots of them. They are persistent and willing to die. Most importantly, they don't seem interested in wealth. They are a problem. I thought I could do something to solve it. You asked to be transferred here? I made the request of General Engach back in Lascara. He agreed, and he gave me a great deal of resources and freedom. I came here. This seems the place where will and steel can do the most good. Met raiders in the Gentle Coast. Yes, and they tried to kill you. A serious attempt on the life of Sutter and you, deep in supposedly peaceful territory. Should have gotten much more attention than it did. Ever heard of someone called the Wolf? She thinks about this. No? Then again, while we have fought brigands, we've never managed to capture any. They're also good at not leaving written records. Where are the raiders hiding? They seem to be most numerous in and around Ouachita Mountain to the north. They also constantly occupy and flee the ruins of Fort Kararis to the south. What is Ouachita Mountain? One of the larger mountains of the region. It is shot through with many mining tunnels. An excellent place for brigands to hide. Anyone following them in the tunnels is likely to die from any of the 1,000 sorts of ambush. Haven't they been destroyed? They move around quickly. They hide in tunnels and they are clever. When we chase them into the mine shafts, we might kill a few, true, but they spring their traps, bury our warriors, and flee. Actually, defeating them will require both strength and cunning. Skilled hunters in small groups. I can see why Rosalowit gave you the petition. I've come to fight the raiders. I'm pleased. I will be careful to not interfere with your efforts. There's much to be done. There's a small offshoot band of brigands I've been hunting. I thought you would be interested. Go on. Many of my soldiers are new and unpracticed. They're Havenites, but green. I have had them raiding the Laracon ruins. There are plenty of raiders hiding there. However, our soft targets have been reinforced. I could use more help rooting them out of the ruin. There would be value in controlling that location. Where are the Larocon ruins? To the northwest, at the base of the mountains, separating us from the Hylata. It's an old ruin, one of the many fortresses shattered during the Great Uprising. What would you have done with these brigands if you defeated them? I'd have taken them to the prisoners in Etza. Master Orichala and I would have questioned them together, then execution. They tried to kill a princess. The time for Governor Ada's softness and indecision has passed. That's all for now, thanks. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. So, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to keep up to date on all the videos, and remember to free the feral wildflower in you. Bye-bye!